Surprised at all. It's
Money
who he
Mayweather.
is. It's who he is. I've always thought that he's a horrible person, and this is every bit of
Fortunate because, you know, same Floyd Money Mayweather. Surely I was going to get my check fairly quickly, right? And that did happen, so I'm sure it'll come eventually, right? I realized, okay, I'm being strung along. This is a classic, hey, buddy, you're the new guy in this industry. We're going to puppeteer you however we want. Hop on for the ride and shut up. Instead of shutting up, I make fun of him on social media and let everyone know that he doesn't have any money. I kind of joke and I'm facetious and I point the finger at Floyd. Well, I don't know if it's his fault. Maybe a little bit, but something tells me Floyd doesn't control where the money goes. Or maybe he does. I don't know, and I don't really care.
The boxing world has been reacting to the latest Floyd Mayweather's allegations. From others calling him a politically driven broke wannabe, to others calling him what's wrong with boxing. Here's how the pros are reacting to recent Mayweather troubles.
Ooh, it's a tough one. I'm trying to understand, as a real estate person myself, what exactly he is communicating when he's saying that he owns this, because they're trying to make it seem like he doesn't, but what it seems like is that he owns shares of these buildings, and it's a larger, it's part of an investment that he did on his own.
According to Khan, there are individuals and organizations offering large sums of money to high-profile public figures to make public endorsements or statements supporting Israel. Khan claimed that he and his wife were offered similar opportunities but turned them down, stating that he didn't want to promote war. In contrast, he pointed to Mayweather's well-publicized pro-Israel posts and appearances, strongly implying that Mayweather had accepted such a deal out of financial necessity.
Join me in expressing heartfelt gratitude to Magen David Adom, the Israel response team. No matter who you are, gender, race, or religion, they are there to provide elite medical care and support. With over 30,000 dedicated volunteers from diverse backgrounds, they are the true heroes of Israel Emergency Response Team. In these tough times, let's rally together and support.
These statements come in the wake of growing public scrutiny of Mayweather's financial status. In 2023, it was reported that Mayweather's name had surfaced in lawsuits related to a collapsed real estate venture worth approximately $400 million. Other civil suits have alleged unpaid debts, shady promotional dealings, and failed appearances, all of which have contributed to speculation that his financial empire may not be as intact as it once seemed. For Amir Khan, who has never held back when addressing controversial subjects in the sport, these issues serve as context. He views Mayweather's recent behavior, such as engaging in low-stakes, high-payout exhibition matches and political endorsements, as signs of a man in financial distress, rather than a calculated businessman still at the top of his game. Khan was blunt, stating in an interview, "Karma's a bee," referring to Mayweather's flamboyant history of flaunting wealth, buying fleets of luxury cars, and traveling with duffel bags of cash, even during times of global hardship like now.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, limited edition AP, all factory, 1.8 million right here. The $20 bills section. We like to call this the Andrew Jackson section, but I like to call it wallpaper. 200,000.
Oscar De La Hoya didn't just throw a jab at Mayweather, he twisted the knife. When he called Floyd's recent exhibitions a real bad show, it wasn't about showmanship or even boxing. It was about legacy, dignity, and decay. Floyd, once the blueprint for business-savvy greatness in the ring, now looks like a relic stuck in an endless loop of desperation, flying to Dubai, Nigeria, and Japan just to lace up gloves in exhibition fights that nobody asked for. The arenas are half full, the opponents are often internet personalities or retired martial artists, and the production feels like a circus. His critique was cold, clinical, and full of alarm bells, because he's seen it before. Fighters who mismanage wealth, who trust the wrong people, who drown in the same lifestyle they once thrived in.
So embarrassing. Floyd, you're 50 years old. You're a legend in the sport. I've stood up for you in countless interviews, including Shannon Sharpe's podcast last week. But you have to stop embarrassing yourself with these exhibitions. I know life is hard. I know life is expensive. But come on, dude, put your legacy first. Nobody wants to remember you like this. And it gets worse, your jeweler filed a lawsuit against you in Miami. And many are saying you're gonna have to sell off your assets. Floyd.
Mayweather's empire used to be airtight. He was the master of control, controlling the narrative, the pace of the fight, the money splits, the entire spectacle. But something has shifted. The exhibitions aren't just about staying active, they reek of necessity. His fight in Dubai against an unknown fighter was rumored to have bounced checks. The money from the Logan Paul fight, still being chased in court. Mayweather Promotions is also odd now. No hot new talent, no big PPV cards, just Floyd, flanked by hangers-on and vague investment ventures. There were murmurs that he was dabbling in NFTs during the 2021 boom, even promoting coins like Ethereum Max, projects later flagged for pump and dump schemes. That's not a retired legend moving smart. That's someone chasing liquidity.
Crazy that everybody keep asking me, why you not coming back to fight? Why you not coming back to fight? So I look at the fight game, I said, okay. I said, fighters fighting, they make 3 million, 4 million, 6 million, 7 million. Some may make 10 or 20 million, but I'm doing exhibitions and I'm making 20, 25 million, 100 million for exhibitions. So why would I come back and fight?
Then there's the real estate issue. It was reported that multiple properties tied to Floyd were either being refinanced or under liens. One Las Vegas mansion worth millions was nearly auctioned due to tax complications. Word is, Floyd doesn't own as much as he claims. Some homes are mortgaged, not outright purchases. That would be fine for the average millionaire. But Floyd styled himself as the cash king, the guy who walks around with a duffel bag full of 7 figures. The IRS reportedly came knocking after the Conor McGregor fight, demanding a significant cut. That was back in 2017.
Pretty great.
I feel good, training hard.
It was great.
Did Floyd not take out his own jets?
Floyd got 3.
Oh, yeah.
So Floyd's got the one
else
he got, and he got 2
tax
others.
problems. That's what he's got. Oh,
I applaud.
7 years later, he's still taking sketchy exhibition deals with Saudi influencers and underground fight promoters. Oscar's disgust isn't personal. He's watching a once great general sell off pieces of the kingdom to survive. Amir Khan has publicly criticized Floyd Mayweather for his recent display of support for Israel, suggesting that the motivation behind it may not be political or ideological, but financial. In a series of comments that quickly gained traction across social media and boxing circles, Khan implied that Mayweather could be accepting compensation in exchange for his vocal backing of Israel during a time of high geopolitical tension, specifically referencing the ongoing Israel-Gaza conflict.
Some say he's the greatest of all time.
Some say. The history book says that.
You want to go right now? We'll find out. Many say, it's like in davening, are you many or most? Everyone says.
Let's say 99.9.
99.9.
Canelo Alvarez, on the other hand, isn't watching at all. He's moved on, completely. The question of whether he'd entertain a rematch or exhibition with Floyd was met with a laugh and a stiff no. It wasn't hate, it was disinterest. Floyd beat him, sure, but that was a young Canelo. A 23-year-old under the lights against a defensive master. Since then, Canelo has become the face of boxing. Multiple weight divisions, Madison Square Garden, T-Mobile Arena, and packed stadiums in Mexico. He's chasing greatness on his terms, and the Mayweather blueprint doesn't matter anymore. He's doing it with different values, team loyalty, high-caliber opposition, and a clear plan to go down as an all-time great.
I mean, you fought Floyd Mayweather at what? You're 23?
23.
That's so fucking young.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I trained so hard, and now obviously I try to beat him because, you know, if you beat him, you want to be the best in the world at 23.
What do you think was so impressive about him?
His experience, he's so smart. He have everything in a fighter, a complete fighter. He don't have power in the punches, but when you that kind of fighter, you don't need it.
You think that was the toughest fight you faced?
Floyd's recent antics? To Canelo, they're irrelevant. A distraction. Canelo's eye is on Terence Crawford, a potential super fight that could define an era. There's no room in that picture for a rematch, with a 48-year-old Floyd who's more interested in who's filming his next promo than in who he's fighting. And unlike others, Canelo isn't throwing shade. His message is quieter but more brutal. Floyd is no longer the standard, not financially, not athletically, not in public image. The new generation doesn't need Floyd's cosign. Canelo's team has built its own empire, one fight at a time.
In 2017, however, he dug himself into a hole after making super lavish purchases like this LA mansion. It was so bad that he actually owed $22.2 million to the IRS, which made him have to come out of retirement.
What's more telling is how Canelo has focused on boxing as a legacy tool, not a cash grab. He took the loss to Floyd and used it as a foundation, not a scar. While Floyd was flying to Tokyo for another cash-fueled sparring match with a 5'6" kickboxer, Canelo was unifying belts. Floyd may have pioneered the money team, but it's Canelo who's setting the new standard for how modern boxers approach their careers, with discipline, with purpose, with structure. Canelo's wealth is less flaunted, but more secure. Real estate, tequila brands, business ventures, sponsorships. It's diversified, calculated. No late-night Instagram lives showing off $1 million in jewelry, just results.
Into my lifestyle, showing the people how I live. Now, I know you guys see me on the regular talking about real estate. Well, lately, I purchased 62 apartment buildings in New York City. And what I need you guys to do, slide over and check out the photos. It's not all 62 buildings, it's a few buildings, but guess what? All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners. And all the retail down low on my buildings all belong to me.
And then there's Manny Pacquiao. When asked whether Floyd needs more money to keep his lifestyle going, he made it clear that he's not interested in the spectacle either. But his perspective cuts even deeper. Manny has always had a unique relationship with Floyd, part rivalry, part mutual respect, part Cold War. But when asked about a potential rematch under exhibition rules, Pacquiao didn't hesitate. "It's just for money," he said. And with that, he severed whatever remaining connection he had to Floyd's new world. Manny's still active in his own right, politically, philanthropically, and occasionally in the gym. But the distinction is clear. He's out of the circus.
In the exhibition with no other than
we're working on it, the opponent, we're working with Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. Yes, you heard it. Floyd Mayweather
Mayweather Pacquiao. Why don't you do it for reals? I don't know.
We don't know.
Pacquiao has rejected multiple offers for rematches in Saudi Arabia, in Macau, even in the Philippines. Big money on the table, but he knows what those fights would be. Hollow, no belts, no real competition. Just nostalgia sold to the highest bidder, and that's not Manny's style. He's transitioned to a life of service, trying to become president of the Philippines, building hospitals, running clinics. He still trains, still spars, but not for TikTok views or crypto paydays. To him, Floyd right now is much more different from an icon. The luxury jets, the shopping sprees, the public displays of opulence, the supposed real estate purchases, those things need fuel, money. And if the rumors are even half true, Floyd's tank is running low.
Chilling in the EWB Rolls Royce. For those that don't know what an EWB is, that's an extended wheelbase Rolls Royce. I need the leg room. I know I ain't that tall, about 5'8.5", some days 5'9", but it is what it is. Chilling, sitting right here watching the Thriller in Manila, Ali versus Frazier documentary. Come check it out.
Legal filings show lawsuits piling up. There's still friction around the Logan Paul exhibition money. A former TMT fighter sued over breach of contract. There are talks of internal fights within Mayweather Promotions, with key staff leaving or demanding unpaid wages. The smoke is thick for Floyd. And for someone who used to pride himself on being the most calculated businessman in boxing, this version of Floyd looks chaotic, sloppy, cornered.
Computers, but soon as someone black, when my career is over as far as me in a combat sport, as far as boxing, whatever, if I'm promoting on social media or I'm doing exhibitions, it's like, oh man, he's broke. No, it's not a crime for them to make money. They don't say nothing about the guys that's 80 and 90 that's still making hundreds of millions and billions, but soon as somebody black does it, your people, your own people, say, oh, he's broke.
Devin Haney once looked up to Floyd Mayweather. He trained in the Mayweather gym in his early years, learned defensive techniques there, and developed a style often compared to Floyd's in terms of patience and accuracy. However, Haney has grown increasingly critical of some of the promotional choices and spectacle-driven events associated with Mayweather in recent years, he's chosen a different path, making career decisions based on long-term impact, not just marketability. Haney unified titles at lightweight and has taken high-risk fights even when the odds weren't in his favor. He's rejected gimmicky matchups or quick money fights.
He owes a bunch of gambling debts. Floyd, okay? And he tried to plant fake news out here saying that he was in downtown LA giving out money, and then he was at the, the basketball game. This is Floyd in Dubai. Yeah.
And although he has a deep respect for the older generation, he's said multiple times that aging fighters need to step aside and let the new era lead. While he didn't name Floyd in those comments, they were made shortly after the Gotti 3 event, and the timing made them stand out. According to Haney, good sportsmanship also happens outside the ring. Floyd shouldn't be out here flexing his money. To him, Floyd shouldn't be making others feel lower than him, and that's exactly what he tries to do. And all this is hitting back at him. To Haney, Floyd's back and forth with the law and the media is all happening because it's life teaching him a lesson.
He did was breaking out of whatever contract he was in initially. He spent $750,000 to break out of his contract, and he's generated so much more money. His own promotion, the money team, he organizes his purse. Deep it. The fight he had with Oscar De La Hoya soon after he broke out that contract was $8 million. With no management team or whatever around him, that's 8 M's for him.
People say he's broke because of the lifestyle he lives, or he's a very big gambler and whatnot, this, that, blah, blah. But does the exhibition fights, people are like, oh, if you're not broke, why is he doing exhibition fights?
When Teofimo Lopez was asked about his perspective on all the heat that is facing Mayweather, he decided to take a much more indirect approach. Teofimo Lopez has never held back when criticizing what he believes is wrong with boxing. He's used terms like clown shows and bad for the sport when referring to exhibition fights and staged events. Although he hasn't named Floyd Mayweather directly, it's hard not to connect his criticisms to the direction Mayweather has taken since retiring. Events like the Gotti 3 exhibition match, which ended in a near riot, seem to represent exactly what Lopez is speaking out against.
He went even further, citing rumors that Mayweather may have been the victim of a $402 million scam related to the Manhattan real estate deal. Smith proposed the question many are now wondering if Mayweather really is a billionaire. Why is he still fighting guys with no professional boxing pedigree in venues that feel more like spectacle?
Lopez believes these types of events harm the reputation of boxing and reduce the respect fans have for it. He's often said that boxing should be about fighting the best and earning your position, not about cashing in on viral fame or popularity. For someone like Lopez, who beat Vasily Lomachenko when few gave him a chance, and then faced criticism after losing to George Kambosos, the difference between entertainment and competition is a serious one. He's also spoken about how retired fighters sometimes continue to control too much of the sport from behind the scenes. Whether through promotional companies or influence on matchmaking, Lopez has said the current generation of fighters shouldn't have to live in the shadow of legends. That's a clear reference to promoters like Mayweather, who still have major influence without being active in the ring.
You know, it's great and all when it was Floyd Mayweather. This is not Floyd Mayweather era. This is bringing back boxing to what it was before. The best fighting the best, whether they had a win or a loss.
Lopez often brings these points up in podcast interviews, not just in press conferences. In one, he made a now well-known comment. These legends shouldn't be out here acting like Instagram comedians. It was widely interpreted as a critique of Floyd's habit of appearing in viral videos and hyping fights that don't mean much from a competitive standpoint. Now, with reports that Mayweather might be experiencing serious financial setbacks tied to real estate and brand mismanagement, Lopez's words appear more grounded than controversial. He's not just attacking for the sake of it, he's pointing out that long-term success in boxing needs to come from stability, not attention.
Oh, I think that Floyd's he's probably made about 60 million before in one night, but no, there's 100 million, 130 million. They just didn't happen. I know that Floyd is still getting in there as recently as this weekend because he needed the money.
You think he blew through all of his money?
I'm claiming for you, he in his whole career has made about 100 million. People think he made 130 in a night. I'm sharing with you, he didn't. No boxer's ever made 130 million.
Rolly Romero started out as one of the most promising fighters under Mayweather Promotions. For years, he trained in the Mayweather gym, appeared in TMT gear, and was often seen in the background of Floyd's events. But recently, Rolly has started to move away from that image. He's begun calling himself the most entertaining fighter in boxing, language Floyd used regularly in his prime, but now without much direct association with Floyd himself. In interviews, Romero has hinted that older fighters shouldn't be taking up spotlight space if they're not bringing real competition to the ring. He alluded to the need for younger fighters to build their own identity instead of being labeled as someone's protege. Though he hasn't spoken negatively about Floyd, the distance is visible in branding, tone, and presence.
Did. It's really a trick. He gets these people to box with him. They have no business boxing with him, and he's making millions and millions of dollars doing this way after his competitive career is over. Needs that money. That money has to keep coming in if you're going to live like this.
It's absolutely, he needs money.
You think he's going
Once
broke?
Again, come on. Fighters like that always go broke.
Rolly Romero's quiet response to the issues surrounding Floyd Mayweather has been distanced, calculated, and consistent. While Rolly came up under Mayweather Promotions and was once marketed as one of TMT's standout personalities, that affiliation has faded without a formal announcement. He's no longer seen with Floyd, no longer branded with the Money Team gear, and Mayweather himself has been notably absent from Rolly's recent career milestones. This shift appears to be Romero's way of managing his own image as Mayweather faces increasing scrutiny, ranging from public criticism of his post-retirement exhibitions to ongoing reports of serious financial and legal troubles, including a high-profile $400 million real estate collapse and multiple lawsuits. According to Rolly, these are just Floyd's activities that he will take care of or recover from. To Rolly, he doesn't see Floyd trying to scam people, but he sees it as business having bad days. You can't have this whole web of businesses here and there and all be smooth. I think this is just something that Floyd can take care of.
So one day, somebody, because you know I don't have social media on my phone. Yeah. So they showed me Eddie. Eddie was like, Floyd Mayweather ain't got no money. That's why he doing exhibitions. No, Eddie don't believe that now.
Yeah. But Eddie will say some shit like that now.
Eddie will say some shit, but no, but one thing, don't worry about that. But me and Eddie got it clear, didn't we?
And then there's Kermel Moton, who was positioned as the next big thing from the Mayweather camp. As a young fighter with close ties to Floyd, many expected him to dominate the featherweight division within a few years. But things didn't go smoothly. Moton missed weight in 2023 for an important fight, and the backlash was immediate. What stood out was Mayweather's lack of public support during the controversy. In the past, Floyd was quick to defend his fighters, or at least explain setbacks. This time, there was silence. That raised questions about how involved Floyd still is in managing his fighters, or whether the internal structure of TMT is becoming less reliable.
So the money's really gone.
Yeah, that's what you think. It's get the money, spend the money.
All that money.
Yeah, it's been 2 years.
So is it just his overhead is so high on a day-to-day, month-to-month? Like
I don't even want to talk about it. Like within lifestyle, that money's gone. Trust me. Now it's like if you call him, he'll be at your local hosting in a nightclub because you need that action right now.
Do you think he should step back in the ring?
In addition to Moton's mishap, there have been rumors of disorganization inside Mayweather Promotions. Some fighters have reportedly gone unpaid, while others have hinted that communication from the top is inconsistent. Moton's case may be a symptom of a larger breakdown in oversight and management. Being Floyd's protege was once a fast track to fame and success. But now, with concerns growing about the long-term health of TMT and questions surrounding Floyd's own finances and legal battles, that association carries risk. For Kermel Moton and others coming up, the goal may now be to establish independence sooner rather than later. What do you think of what's going around Floyd? And do you think he'll be able to get out of his money trap? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more updates.